Hi, this is Miss Ray Stokes, and I'm talking about the coordinate plane with you today. So this activity in our interactive notebook actually starts on page 23. So I'm going to put 23 at the top and circle it. This is our standard 6th grade number system, lesson 6. I can graph in all 4 quadrants. So the first 2 lines are just some notes that we take about the coordinate plane. The x-axis is a horizontal number line. The way you can remember horizontal is horizon, which is across. So when you're looking at the horizon in real life, you see a horizon. It's a line going side to side. So our horizontal line here is the x-axis. The y-axis is the vertical number line. And that goes up and down. So the 2 number lines cross and divide the plane into 4 quadrants. So when they cross right here at the origin, you have 4 quadrants. And Roman numerals are what we use for the quadrants. So you have Roman numeral. This Roman numeral is number 1. This Roman numeral, the 2 lines, is 2, 3. And then when the I of the Roman numeral is in front of the V is 5, you take 1 away, and that makes 4. So you have numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So quadrant 1, you write as a Roman numeral. So quadrant 1, you'll see it written right here with a Roman numeral. So all of the numbers in quadrant 1 will have a positive x-coordinate and a positive y-coordinate. So you can label your 2 lines as the y-axis is here that goes up and down, and your x-axis is here. It runs side to side. And then whenever it meets right here, again, that's called the origin. And the coordinates for the origin is always 0, 0. So 0, 0. Now, in the second quadrant, so they kind of go like the letter C. So quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to move over to quadrant 2. They're going to still have positive y coordinates, but if it's to the left of 0, these are the negative x coordinates. So we're going to have a negative x coordinate and a positive y coordinate. Well, that will tell us that we're definitely in quadrant 2. Quadrant 3 is here, and it's going to have a negative x coordinate, and it's also going to have a negative y coordinate. So 2 negatives here. And then our last quadrant here is quadrant 4. We're going to have positive x coordinates, and then we're going to have negative y coordinates. So whenever the 0, wherever you're starting at 0, the origin, on a horizontal number line, you're always going to have positive going towards the right and negative integers going towards the left. Same thing for the vertical line. You start at the 0. If it's above the 0, it's a positive integer. If it's below 0, it's a negative integer. So the bottom right here, it says which quadrant. So the x coordinate is negative and the y coordinate is positive. So we're looking for negative x, positive y. So that would be the quadrant 2. So Q2. The x coordinate is negative and the y coordinate is negative. That's going to put us here at quadrant 3. So that's Q3. And then the x coordinate is positive and the y coordinate is negative, excuse me. So positive, negative. That's quadrant 4. And then the last one, the x coordinate is positive and the y coordinate is positive. So that takes us to quadrant 1. And then we're going to turn the page, and there's one more paper that goes with this, and that's on page 24. So this is a little bit more practice. So this says the set of numbers that describes a point is an ordered pair. So you can write that at the top. And then it says the set of, then right here it's going to have a number 4, and the you see the arrow pointing to the 4. This is my x coordinate. And then you see the arrow pointing to the second integer, which is -6, and that's my y coordinate. So just like the alphabet, you put the x coordinate first and then the y. Steps for graphing on the coordinate plane. You always start at the origin. So always start here at the origin, 0, 0. Move the first number along the x-axis. So you're either going left or right. You go left if it's a negative number, so I'm going to put a negative sign. And you would go right if it's a positive number, so I'm going to put a positive sign there. All right, number 3, move the second number along the y-axis. So you start at the origin. You then go left or right for the x-axis. The last step is to go up or down for the y-axis. If I'm going up, it's because I have a positive integer. If I'm going down, it's because I have a negative integer. Okay, so now we have a coordinate plane, and then you can see the box at the bottom. And this tells you Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Those are our quadrants, and there are a couple that will actually be on the axis lines. So we'll go over that in just a second. But first, let's start with these two, A and B. So how do you start to plot a point? Well, point A, you're going to start at the origin. We always start here. Then we're going to go left or right, but this is a positive integer, positive 4. So I need to go to the right up to 4 and stop right here. Next, I need to go up and down to talk about my positive 3. Positive 3 means I'm going to go up 3 units. 1, 2, 3. And then I put a circle right on the, or it's actually more like a dot. Let me get closer so you can see. I put a dot right there on the coordinate plane, and I'm just going to label it A. Next, I have positive 2, positive 5. Start at the origin, go to positive 2, and then up to positive 5, and that's B. Next, I'm going to be working in quadrant 2, which is on this side. So, see, I have started the origin. I'm going to go over to the left to -2, and then up to positive 4. The next one is -7, positive 1. So start at the origin, go to -7 and up to positive 1. Now I'm going to be working in quadrant 3. So I start at the origin, and I'm going to go to the left for -5 and then down to -4. And that's point E. Then I'm going to go check out F. So that's start at the origin, go over to the left to -3, and then down 1 to -1, and that's point F. Last quadrant is quadrant 4. So I'm going to start at the origin, and I'm going to go to positive 7. So it's way over here. Then I'm going to go down to -4. And the way you can do that is either count 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can find it on the y-axis and then go until they meet. Whichever one is easiest for you. So this is G. And then the last one is positive 1. So start at the origin, go to positive 1, and then down to -1. And that is my point H. Now I have 2 that are actually on the axis. That means one of the coordinates is a 0. So I'm going to start with I. I always start at my origin, and 0 is the number of the x coordinate. So the x-axis runs this way. So that means I'm stopping at 0. 0 is my x coordinate. But my positive 4 is my y coordinate. So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and my point is right there on the line. And that's going to be point I. Last one, -6, 0. So I start at the origin, and I go to -6. So that is right here on the x-axis. And then on my y-axis, the number is actually 0, so I can't move up or down. So this is my actual point here, and that's J. All right, last two questions. If the blank coordinate is 0, then the point will be on the blank axis. So if the x-coordinate is 0, then the point will be on the y-axis. And we saw that with the point I. And then if the y-coordinate is 0, the point will be on the x-axis, which we saw on point J. And that's the end of this lesson.